guys, meet the expletive here today. Today we're doing What If Deku was the next war machine. So, I'll start the story off, but the same guys, I'm sorry I haven't been posting much, just that my charger for my phone is really bad, and I'm gonna go buy a new one, but not buy it, like, probably a weak one that will probably break in the next 3 weeks. So, yeah, I have not much money right now, guys, but anyway, I'll continue the video. I'll start the video. Okay. After Deku got his heart broken by All Might. After Deku heard these words, "Sorry, kid. You cannot be a hero without a quirk. I'm sorry." Deku's heart sank. It sank to the level that he was so depressed he was just so sad. But that's the thing. War Machine was passing by, and he hid behind a corner, and he saw All Might's form, and of course the government knows All Might's form, so when Rhodey heard this, he was like, wow. Well, All Might, even though I'm quirkless, you should not have ever said that, because being quirkless doesn't matter. Even if you have a suit like mine, no, if you you can even become a hero even without a quirk, All Might. And Rhodey knew everything about All Might, even the Avengers did, so that's when Rhodey was actually looking up this kid's files, and it had a background of Deku. You see, he was in the military, but he had military training, and he graduated at the top of his class at the age of 9. He was really respecting of other officers. He's really cooperative, and he never betrays teammates. And Rhodey was like, I want this kid to be my next successor, or to be the next War Machine, cause I'm about to retire soon. Rhodey's saying in the suit, because Rhodey did check the database of Deku. He had everything he needed to choose Deku for him to be the next War Machine. However, War Machine wanted to have a talk with All Might. After All Might was leaving after leaving the school, War Machine was right in front of the door, tapping his foot, and All Might's like, "Yo, what's up, War Machine?" As War Machine takes off his helmet, just says, "Really, All Might? You couldn't just say you could be a hero even without a quirk?" All Might says, "What? It's true. He can't be a hero without a quirk." Azuri says, "Well, that didn't stop me from becoming a hero, even though I'm quirkless." And All Might's like, "Yeah, but you're an exception. You got that armor from your friend." So, yeah. Azuri says, "That doesn't excuse the point, All Might." Azuri says, "Man, you're a shitty hero." And All Might says, "What else do you want me to say? He can become a hero? That's not happening. In the world of quirks, that's not even possible, except for you and your friend Tony Stark." As Roy twitches I know. Because Tony Stark died a long time ago, so yeah. As Roy's like, "Yeah, but I'm getting old, All Might." So All Might's like, "Yeah. So Roy just says, "I'm gonna retire soon." As All Might's like, "Retire? But you still have a few more years. Why stop here?" Ray says, "Well, our generation's getting kind of old, and I want the new generation to understand this. Also, I'm picking that kid that you told who couldn't be a hero to be the next War Machine." As All Might's like, "What? Are you insane? That kid can't operate your suit." As Ray says, "Really? I checked the military records, and he has the best score out of anyone in the military, and he was a trainee." As All Might's like, what? But as Rhodey's like, yeah, All Might. When you try to judge someone, don't judge them by the way they look. The kid, I looked at my records, he was actually your idol, All Might. It was you kept pushing him through that. He got through military just because of you. But now you just broke that in front of his face. And now I have to clean up your damn mess, All Might. As Brody begins flying up straight to the building. As Deku turns around and says, "Oh, hey, War Machine." As War Machine walks up to Deku, "Hey, kid, I see All Might has told you you can't be a hero without a quirk." As Deku's like, "Yeah, even you're a quirkless," and he says, like, "Even though you have a quirk." No, sorry, not. "Even though I can't be a hero without a quirk, so." As the race says, "Well, you can be a hero, kid. You can, even without a quirk." Aztec was like, "Yeah, but for you, it's different. You have that suit from your friend. Plus, the military's allowing you to use that suit. So, yeah." As Roy's like, "Listen, kid. I want you to be the next War Machine." Aztec was like, "What? But I was training in the military, though." As Roy says, "Yes, I know, but I looked at your records, and I saw great potential in you. Besides, kid, I need someone to be the next War Machine because I'm getting old." Sorry about that, guys. "I'm getting old, and I want to pass down my torch to someone. Someone who's just like me." Deku's like, "What? So are you saying, yes, kid, I want you to be the next War Machine?" As Deku's like, eyes begin to flicker a little bit. As Deku's like, "But why? Why choose me? Of everyone, out of everyone of, I don't know, the cadets or trainees or candidates, why choose me?" As Rhodey says, "Well, you do not betray anyone easily, and you have really a good heart, kid. So, I want you to be the next, the next person who wields this suit." And Deku's like, "But that would mean you have to retire as a hero." And Rhodey's like, "Yeah. Besides, I am getting old, kid. And I want you to be my next successor." And of course, the sludge villain did happen. The sludge villain incident never happened then, since the sludge villain didn't get out of All Might's pocket because All Might noticed it was going to like fall off, so All Might grabbed and put it back in his pocket. As Dory told Deku to meet him at this time, and what time that Rhodey will pick him up, for the next 6 months, Deku will be training under the military. And of course, the military is going to support Deku. However, Rhodey will be the only one to actually have Deku's back. Well, of course. Okay. A few hours later, when Deku got home and Inko was crying, he says, "Where were you, my son?" Deku's like, "Well, Mom, I'm gonna be the next War Machine." As Inko's jaw drops and says, "What? But, sweetie, you were to training in the military, though. You still have to go through a lot of training." As Deku's like, "Yeah, but..." As someone's knocking on the door like this. "Hello?" As Inko goes past Izuku and opens the door and just sees Rhodey. And Rhodey raises his hand to Inko and says, "Hi." As Inko's like, excuse me, War Machine, welcome to our house." You guys can decide in the comments what War Machine's hero rank should be, or what number hero he should be. Because, yeah. As already been sitting down, as Ink was like saying, "Oh my gosh, please don't mind my son. He should not he should will be an honor for him to be your successor." But just her like stuttering like in the middle, like mumbling, and Deck was like, Mom," and Ink was like, "Ah, yes, Isku," as Deku puts his hands in yours, says, "Mom, it's fine," and Ink was like, "Ah," faints to the ground, just like, and Deku's like, "Okay, that happened." Deku grabs his mom, puts her on her couch. As she wakes up, she just thought it was all a dream, but nope, Broly's just sitting on the couch right in front of her, and Deku's on the left side of him. And Ink was like, "Oh, so it wasn't a dream," as Roy says, "No, it wasn't, ma'am." So, as Roy puts his hands together, your son has a lot of potential. I look at your son's records, and I read them over and over again, and I did not doubt it. He could have passed his thing, but because let's just say someone in the military, let's say it was one of Bakugo's friends secretly, like fuck Deku and making him fail, and that's why he never completed the military training. However, when the military found this out, the person that succeeded the military came to the guy's house and just said to him, "You're now you don't deserve you don't deserve those medals or the hat. Hand over a uniform, sir." And this guy's like, "But what did I do?" But he's like he's a 18-year-old now, and he's like giving all this stuff. And when the military told their parents about this, they shamed his son, and they're like saying, "Son, you did that to a fellow candidate, to a fellow recruit. That is disrespect." And his dad was in the military, and he gave him a bunch of shit, so he's just going to take the whole training military again. But this time, the guy from the military who retired told him to do 5 times more harder. And yeah, he did that for like, I don't know, next 6 months for that guy. So that guy's going to be pissed, but he's going to learn his lesson. But anyway, as Zordibian's explaining how Izuku is going to be next War Machine and how it will all work, and of course, Inko was like, "But doesn't that mean my son will be in danger?" As Rodi's like, "Yes, but this suit has been upgraded to the most advanced tech in the world. No one can compete with it. Also, I'm going to be retiring as the I can't remember the name. No, I know the name, not the name. I mean, I don't know what number I should give him, guys. So, I know you guys can decide in the comments what number of hero he should be. Again, as Inko's like, "So you're gonna retire for my son's sake, so he could be your next War Machine?" As Dory's like, "Yeah, basically." So as Inko sees the papers, as Rory like brings them out of his like as his fuck for his suitcase or briefcase. There you go, briefcase. He looks at the papers that Izuku signed, and now he has to write it for a guardian. As Inko says, "Son, are you sure you want this?" As Izuku's shaking his head, "Yes." He says, "Yes, Mom, I want to be a hero. Even though I'll be quirkless at that school, I don't care." Okay. As Ingo just says, "Okay, son. If that's what you want, then I support you." I can't tell if my phone's charging or not. Besides, guys, if you do enjoy this video, please tell me in the comment section. I'm not going to end it here. I'm just saying. Okay, a few minutes later, after the papers were all signed, Deku and Rody began packing his stuff because he's going to be retraining for the next 6 months because Back then he was buff, but he just let himself go because after Deku got all his clothes ready, he walks out of his room and is almost walking out the door as Inko stops him and just hugs him, just says, "I'm happy you could be pursuing your dream, sweetie." As Deku hugs his mom, just says, "Don't worry, mom. I'll be the greatest hero ever." As Deku leaves the door smiling. As Rody and Deku being talking, going to the car, as Deku's like, "So, what do I have to go through training again?" And Rody's like, "Yep. And this time, you're doing it by yourself." As Deku's like, "So no one else." As Rody's like, "Yep. Yep." And Rody says, "Yes. Yep." As Deku says, good. Because if I remember correctly, someone messed up my answers, broke into the security office for the answers, and wrote the wrong tests, and I got expelled from the military. As Rody's like, "Yeah, I know, kid. Besides, the kid who did it is going to get really punished for that. He's losing his minnows as we speak. He's going to go through training 5 times more harder than you." As Deku's like, "Well, if he's going to go through training 5 times as hard, can you up that training for me 10 times harder then?" As Rody's like, "Are you sure? It's going to put a lot of strain on your body, kid." As Deku's like, "Yes, I'm sure." As Rory just says, I knew you were right candidate. Besides, kid, I did the same thing as him 5 times, or you're going to do it 10 more times. This should be... I really chose the right candidate." As Deku's like, "Yep." As Deku and Rory begin going to the car, and Rory begins driving to the military base for about... No, he begins driving and goes to the airport, and then books plane tickets and goes to the military base, and he begins going on a helicopter, and Deku and Rody begin going up to the sky to the military base. There you go. When Deku gets to the military base, every one of the soldiers salutes Rody, and everyone's like saying, "Sir, it's sad to see you go, but I can't believe you're retiring, sir, as a hero." As Rory's like, "Yeah, I know it's sad, but I had my time. I want to introduce my new successor. Not my successor, never mind, guys. My candidate for the next War Machine." As everyone in the briefing room just says, "Really? That candidate dropped it. That candidate was actually expelled for failing his classes. So, Rody, if this is a joke, just tell us now." As Rody just puts down his hand on the ground to the major, just says, "Major, do you look at the report I sent you?" As Major's like, "What report?" As the military guy's like, "Sorry, sir, I didn't send it in time, sir. Sorry, sir, it was still processing, so here you go." As General Bean's looking at this, he just bows, gets up and just says sorry to Izuku Midoriya. He says, "I'm so sorry, kid. I thought you expelled... We all did, but apparently we didn't look closely enough at the records. But, at all the same... But all the same time... Rody, are you sure you want this kid to be your next candidate?" As Rody says yes. As the military guy says, "Very well. So, shall we start training then? Just the basic push-ups, shit-ups, carrying up, but it's 10 times more harder. First day, harder. It gets harder and harder for Deku. But he didn't. For the next 3 months, he was working on everything. He was doing jumping jacks, sit-ups, push-ups. He was basically doing all the military training, but 10 times more harder. And of course, he did some combat lessons, and he was passing them greatly. And after the 3 months, Rory says, okay, kid. So you've managed to reach my height, and you look pretty well, kid. As Deku's like, thank you. As Rory says, well, this is the this is the 4th month now. But today's gonna be different, Izuku. As Izuku says, what's gonna be different? As Rory says, well, you're gonna be using my suit for training for the next 3 months. As Deku's like, so I'm gonna use your suit for the next 3 months so I can know how to use it, basically. Deku's saying. Rory says, yep, yes, kid. You're completely right. Also,
mow lawn today. I know it's super hot out, but it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and if we don't get it done today, it's gonna be like way.
so why does everyone keep coming in my videos, guys, and just interrupt me? As Rory begins walking Deku to the suit in the hangar, as the hangar doors open, Deku looks at the suit. He notices the weapons have been completely stripped, and Deku says to Rory about why it was stripped, and Deku saying, "I'm guessing the weapons have been stripped so that I can know how to use them when you installed every one of your weapons on the suit, right, Rory?" Rory says, you're a smart one, kid." Yes. You see, I had to master all the guns on my suit before I knew what they did. I had to know what my suit weapons did and which one to deploy first. So, we're just gonna do the basic one. We're just gonna do the basics. Fly. As the ray touches the suit, says, "Access granted. Welcome, Colonel Rhodes." As Roy says, "Okay, kid." So Roy begins explaining to Deku how to get into the suit and how to make sure that no one else can get into it, and how to use it, basically. After Deku got the the main component of how it works, Deku begins getting into it. The suit begins closing up, and all you see is Deku in the suit, walking out of the hangar, and Deku's like, "Okay, Rhodey, now what?" As Rhodey says, "War Machine, initiate the training." As Deku sees these little circles up in the sky, as Deku's like, "So I have to fly through those." As Rory says, "Yep, and you must make sure you got every one. If you do, you're not gonna wear the suit." As Deku's like, "I understand." As Rory says, "Ready, kid?" Deku nervously just waits. Deku doesn't say anything for a few seconds, but he says, "Yes!" As Deku begins flying up into the sky, and Rory says, "Okay, kid, I'm going to start the test in 3, 2, 1. Go!" As Deku begins getting all the circles, but however, Deku was so close to getting the other circle. But he used his he actually did get the other circle, but Deku was really close to getting the other. Fuck, never mind. Okay, after Deku got the 6 circles, there's one last circle in the sky, and Deku did what War Machine did. He went straight towards it, and going higher and higher. 3, 2, 1. Deku got the last circle at 0.8 seconds left. As Deku lands back on the ground and just says, "Whew." So, I'm guessing you're gonna do that more? As Rory's like, "Yep." As Rory just says, kid, time to install the minigun. Time to install the shoulder gun." As 2 soldiers walking towards Rory with a briefcase, as both of them are holding it. As Rory opens the briefcase, he puts on the shoulder cannon on Deku's shoulder for the suit. As Rory says, "Okay, so here's some drones and circles. If you manage to get all the drones and go through the circles at the same time before they manage to do any damage to the suit, you will you will keep the suit and we'll do more training. As Deku's like, okay. As you know, Deku didn't manage to complete everything. And Deku with the suit, and now, and okay, sorry guys, I'll start how Deku did it. Deku begins flying straight towards the circle, but he knows one of the drones was behind him. So Deku stopped his thrusters and turned around, and he uses the shoulder cannon to blast him, and begins flying back up. However, he notices a drone going straight towards him. Make that 3 drones going straight towards him. So Deku grabs one of them, begins flying straight towards them, because they're regarding the circle. Grabs 2 of them and crushes them, and operates a shoulder cannon to turn around and shoot the other drone. And Deku passed. So, 3 months later, Deku's completed not all of his training yet, but now Deku has all the weapons mastered now. And Rody says to Deku, well, good job, kid, you're on your last month. So, how's training going? Deku says, it's been going great. Working out, knowing my systems, doing some combat. As Roy's like, good. Besides, you have to stay fit. You have to stay fit, and always make sure you're looking. Fuck. Sorry guys, I fucked that up. Always make sure that you're aware of your surroundings and your enemies, kid. As Deku was like, yep. Yes, sir. As Rory's like, okay. So, for this last month, I am going to do something for you, kid. As Deku was like, what's that? Today, your training will be to capture the flag. But since Pepper Stark is now the owner of Stark Industries, I've asked her for a favor. And of course, she says, sure, her daughter would love to test these things. As Dick was like, test what? As the 4 Iron robots appear and just says, good evening, Mr. Rhodey. As Doug was like, so, I have to fight these things? As Rhodey's like, yes, but at the same time, Isku, they will be able to capture your flag as well. You're a red team, and they're a blue team. As Doug was like, got it. So, if you want to start today or tomorrow, kid, you can decide. It's up to you. As Deku says, I want to start today. As Rhodey says, very well. As everyone say, as Roy says, game will begin in 3, 2, 1, begin. Of course, one of the Iron Legion stayed behind to guard the flag, while the other 3 try to capture the flag. However, Deku asked Rhodey if he's allowed to destroy them. As Rhodey says, yes, you are. As then Deku grabs one of the Iron Man suits and rips its arms off and kicks it to the wall. However, the other one was actually really close to the flag, so Deku used his shoulder cannon to blast the thing's head off. However, the other one tackled Deku and begins flying him up to the sky. However, Deku begins using his propulsor cannons, and he shoots the thing in the chest, knocking it off. As Deku begins flying towards the other machine, as the machine gets ready for the defensive position, Deku uses that onto the robot, unloading a lot of gunfire, and destroys it completely. As Deku begins walking up to the flag and grabs, just says, fuck, I can't, no, I can't remember the catchphrase, just saying, yeah! As Rory's like, god damn, this kid has a lot of talent. I was right to choose him. And after that, Izuku kept training, but more and more drones kept coming and coming. And for the last month, Deku completed that training. And for the last day, Brody said, well done, kid. Today's your last day. So, I'm giving you the suit, kid. But, the military will have to do some repairs on it. But, we have a facility at UA. Well, if you manage to get into UA, kid, there's a facility in UA which we've installed and asked them to do. Asked them if it was alright to store the suit there. Also, if you're wondering, the suit when you get into UA, kid, will be injecting some nanites into your blood so the suit can come to you when you need a part from it, or if you need it to, if you really need it in times of need. Just like how Tony got the Mark 42 to do that. Also, I have some in my system too. Aztec was like, alright then, Rhodey. As Deku and Rhodey began laughing and just saying, it's been hell. I've been going through hell, but as Deku smiles, this is gonna be so much fun. As Rhodey says, hey kid, here. Hey kid, call your mother on your suit. Tell the good news. As Deku says, hey mom. And he goes like, oh hey sweetie. So, did you pass? As Deku's like, I more than just passed. I aced it, mom. And she goes like, that's so good, sweetie. As Deku says, and I'm gonna be going for my hero exam. As he goes like, are you sure? Are you sure you're ready, sweetie? As Deku's like, I'm pretty sure, mom. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I know it was long, but if you like this video, please tell me in the comments section. Also, if you're subscribed, please check if you're subscribed. YouTube sometimes glitches you and unsubscribes you. But please, if you really like this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out and helps this channel grow. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for enjoying this video. And I'll talk to y'all in the next video.